Hello cookies, it's Siri, I'm back and today I'm going to tell you why John had to shave my head. First of all, let me start by saying that you cookies are so freaking amazing because all your support and your kind words and all the amazing things you said under my shaving head video and even the previous one where I made my big reveal, they were just so nice and I was so happy for so many days. And something that I often tell John is, there are not many of them, those cookies, but they're good ones. They're really, really good ones. So basically about a few weeks ago, I decided that I really wanted to go for silver hair. I made some research online to try to find a good hair salon that could deliver that here in Stockholm. And I found one that I thought was good because I saw a photo that they posted a few weeks prior where there was someone with silver hair. So I said, woo, okay, I found a salon that could potentially do my silver hair. The salon is called Salon Head Zone, so I proceeded and called the one that was nearest to my place because they have 4 of them all around Stockholm, and I called the one that I could walk to. On the phone I told the lady that I wanted to go for silver hair and she just asked me a few questions like, oh, is your hair dyed? Is your hair long? Is your hair whatever, just very few questions. And in the end she said, yes, we can definitely do silver hair for you, no problem, I will book a time now if you want. So of course I said yes and booked the time. When I arrived there, the hairdresser told me that it might take a couple of times, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times to get the silver hair I wanted because it had to be bleached many times first and then toned because I really wanted a white silver hair, not dark silver, but literally white silver. I was okay with it. She told me that it would cost quite a lot of money, but I was ready for it. I already asked John if, he could maybe help me a little bit with that, and he agreed with that. So we knew that it would cost something and it would take a few times. After the bleaching was done and we were drying my hair, she said, you know what, your hair took the bleaching really well, so you basically only need 1 more session. I was very surprised but very happy. Of course at the time my hair was kind of blondish, weird blonde. Of course because it was just bleached once, but she said it was already light enough so that she could guess that only 1 session more was needed of bleaching and toning so that I would get my silver hair. I had the second session a week later, and even before we started, she confirmed again that it was the last time that I had to do it, and then at the end of the day when we were done after all those hours, because it takes a long time, I would have my dream silver hair. When we were done with the bleaching session and then she was drying my hair, I thought, it looks weird, but then I said to myself, I will wait until it's dry. And when it was dry, it was basically a mix of random colors. It was green, purple, blue, pink, yellow, orange, silver, white. So I told her, I was like, yeah, this is not silver, it looks very weird. And she said, yeah, it's because your hair didn't take the toning and the bleaching properly, blah blah blah. So she just went on and saying some whatever like excuses, but even I, as a non-hairdresser, I knew that she was just trying to bull in me. And I said, yeah, but this is not silver, this is not what I paid for, and you said this is the last session. And then she said, the weirdest thing, she said, no one can achieve silver hair anyway, and since you already told me, I told her that I bought some silver shampoo and silver conditioner. She said, you can use those at home and try to fix it yourself or do some more toning yourself with those products to get the silver you want, and you have to fix it yourself at home. And I said, but isn't the point of going to a hair salon going out of there with your hair done and finished since this is the last session? And she really just said, no, this is how it is, no one can do silver hair anyway. She did not even book any further time because when I did the first sessions, she booked straight away the second session. Then after that second session, she didn't book it anymore, she didn't book anything. So I paid and went home and I felt like, is this really right? I don't think it's right. You shouldn't have to go back from the hair salon and having to fix your hair yourself. When John got home 1 hour later, he saw my hair and he said, "What is this? This is weird. You know that you have lots of different colors and they're not even. They look really wonky, right?" And I thought, it is probably really bad, because John is the type of guy that doesn't notice anything I do, but he noticed. So I said, "This is bad." He noticed, "This is bad." And he said, "Did you pay for this?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Are you satisfied with it?" I said, "No, not really." And he said, "You know what? We have to go back there and complain because this looks really bad, and I guess you can't see your back, as in the hair that is here in the back, but it's bad. It is pretty bad." So we went back there, and when we arrived, John said, "Hello, can I please speak to the manager or someone in charge here?" And he was very respectful, very nice. I mean, John and I both worked in retail before, so we know that annoying customers are just rude and just very annoying. It's like no one should be an annoying customer even when you have something to complain about. So he was really polite, and then the hairdresser that did my hair came forward, and John basically told her, "This is not what has been paid for. It doesn't look silver, it looks very wonky, it looks very weird. Can we please have a refund for this?" And then the hairdresser went on and saying, excuses again about how the manager wasn't there and it wasn't up to her to give a refund, and until the manager returns, no one can do anything about it. But she promised that when her shift was done, she would call the manager, and that the manager would call John back the same day. We waited the whole evening, nothing happened. We didn't receive any single call or anything. So the day afterwards, it was Friday morning, John tried to call to no avail, because the people that he called said the same thing. Only the manager can decide this, only the manager can help, she's not around, she's busy. He called a few times and every time he just got weird excuses. Saturday, I was annoyed. I was really annoyed because it was obvious that they were really ignoring both of us, because how can you ignore so many calls and just pass the responsibility to the manager, but then when we call someone else and then the person says the same thing and everybody just tries to ignore us and get us to hang up and just wait for the manager. So I called and I said, "You know what, I am very polite and respectful, but this is very annoying and you have to fix this. Someone has to fix this because this is not what I paid for. And yeah, this has to be fixed. I want the manager to call me." And the girl on the phone said, "No, she's not around." Of course, you guessed, Cookies. The manager wasn't around. She was busy, whatever. So just like, okay, yeah, thank you so much, bye. On Sunday, I was annoyed some more. So I decided to make a post on Instagram. I know some of you saw the post. I basically explained the whole situation about how they took so much money from us, but my hair wasn't what I wanted it to be. It was a disaster and I got no help, so what should I do? Thank you so much for all of you that gave me lots of suggestions basically, and that told me to keep on fighting, because I don't like confrontation. I don't like having to fight or be that customer, but I realized, thanks to all of you actually, that at some point you just have to stand up for yourself and get what's right and get your money's worth of what you paid for. Monday, I decided to go to another salon called Salon Novo that I found on Instagram that did lots of funky hairstyles with different colors. So I thought that, they could help me get my silver hair and fix the disaster that my hair was. Right after I booked the time there and I was going out of the salon, I got a call, guess what, from Salon Head Zone, from the manager herself. She said, "Hello Yuri, sorry I couldn't get back to you. I was kind of busy, but I saw your post on Instagram and I thought that we might try to solve this issue together." So I was like, "Yeah, keep talking." I mean, I didn't say keep talking, but I was just listening like, "Yeah, what?" And she said, "My best hairdresser actually has a time free at 5 p.m. Well, she didn't have a free time, she had a customer, but we canceled the customer's time so that you could get the time at 5 p.m. if you want, and we could fix your hair for you for free." The first thing that crossed my mind was, what? They're even lousier than I thought. They basically just canceled the time of someone else to give it to me. that is rude. But of course I didn't say that because I was happy that, well, they called me and actually wanted to provide a solution. So I just said, yes, sure, I will come at 5 p.m. She was like, oh, okay, thank you so much, see you. I arrived there at 5 p.m. and even the people there, including the best hairdresser they had, said, oh yeah, it didn't look good, it really didn't look good, and they admitted it themselves. So they proceeded on to try to fix it, tone it a bit more. But one thing that really caught my mind was that 4 times I have been told to please delete the post on Instagram when we are done. So basically she said it to me while she was, I guess, talking to me when she was first checking the state of the hair, and then she said it in the middle of the whole thing. She said it exactly when I left the hair salon, and then like 15 minutes after I left the hair salon, I got a text, an SMS that says, can you please delete it? So 4 times I have been told to delete it, and it was really like, deleted. Of course they said it nicely, but you know when someone is nice, not so nice, and just like, can you please delete it? And I was like, yeah, sure, I said it already the first time, yeah, sure, whatever, because I felt bad as well. I don't want and I don't like using my Instagram like that. I like posting, you know, outfits, makeup, fitness stuff. All the way home I was thinking about that, and I just realized that, you know, I'll be very honest with you, Cookies, and this is really just my point of view and what I think. It's not, I can't, you know, like say that it's 100% the facts, but what I believed is that, well, once they saw the Instagram post and they saw how many Insta friends I had and how many people left some comments, and there were actually some people who told me that they went on their Instagram and left some comments, but the comments got deleted. After all that, they were like, oh, this is bad publicity, she has many Insta friends, so we have to fix it, whatever. And that rubbed me the wrong way, still rubs me the wrong way, because I thought, okay, so before you knew basically how many Insta friends I had, or that I had Insta friends, you ignored me the whole time. Then I made a post on Sunday, and by Monday, when the post was already like peaking and many more people were posting comments and liking it and trying to leave some comments under their Instagram, when you noticed all of that, you contacted me, and that is very rude to me. I think it's really wrong, because regardless of if your customer has a social media presence or not, you should treat everybody the same, because I have the deep feeling that if I were just, you know, invisible on social media, they would have kept on ignoring me and John seriously. And this is really like a deep gut feeling. And when I told John about it, he thought the same. He said, you know, you're lucky you have your Instagram to push things forward, because I also feel like you wouldn't have gotten any help otherwise. So I don't want to have better treatment because I'm on Instagram. It's just really wrong and rude. I feel like customers should all be treated the same. My money is as important as someone else's money, regardless of who has a high number of followers or a high number of Snapchat friends. I'm not on Snapchat, so I don't know how you call Snapchat friends, but you know what I mean. So I was done with that hair salon, and of course I didn't book any more time with them because I had a new time with Salon Novo that I was very excited about. I went for the appointment the day after John and I got back from our 2 years anniversary small trip, and I vlogged about it. I know that some of you saw the vlog, and I was very excited that day. When I arrived there, I should actually have gotten a red flag, because the hairdresser that was supposed to do my hair, she was very uninterested. That's the only word that comes to my mind when I think about her, when I think about the whole thing, because she seemed so bored and uninterested and just, yeah, like unconcerned. So when I arrived, she checked my hair and she said, your hair is kind of dry already because you've bleached it a few times, but yeah, it's going to be damaged. I'm warning you, it can get damaged or dry if we proceed. You want to proceed even after I'm warning you? And then I said, yeah, how damaged is damaged? Is it still going to be hair and okay, or is it going to be like really bad and like a broom? You know, and she said, nah, kind of just like drier and, you know, like split ends. And I said, yeah, okay, I could deal with that. I mean, if it comes to that, we could even just cut a bit more. So I was okay with it. So we proceeded. And when I went back from the last wash and I was sitting, she basically started to say, you know, it's good you have lots of hair that is very thick and you have lots of them, so you shouldn't worry too much. And I thought, yeah, okay, what happened? And I looked at my hair, it got very, very thin. It was like my hair used to be very poofy and I used to have lots of hair, but even though it was still wet, I already noticed that it was not as thick and as full as it usually is. So I asked her, have I lost lots of hair? And she said, well, you lost a bit of hair, but that's quite normal when you bleach it, and I already told you that you could get some damage. And I told her, well, you told me I could have some damage. You never ever mentioned that I would lose my hair. She just continued on saying the same thing. Yeah, well, I kinda warned you already, you know. But like I said, you have lots of hair. She was always going on about how I have lots of hair and so many of them and they are thick, so I shouldn't worry. So she said, wait, not we should not, you know, style it or anything. Let's just air dry it and you can just go home and let it air dry by itself. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. So I paid and I just left, and it was kind of silver. It was not the final silver color I wanted yet, because it was still kind of like blondish, blonde silver, not the right type of silver, but I was like, yeah, whatever, it's okay, I guess I can just book more appointments in the future. On the way home, I noticed that my hair was shedding a lot, so I was just walking towards the metro station, walking home, and my hair was just falling like snow, just falling without me doing anything. So I thought, that is really weird. And when I arrived home, the hair just kept on shedding all the time. I remember I got really freaked out because at some point I was sitting down and I started to edit some video, and my hair was just falling just out of the blue. They were just shedding, and it wasn't like 1, 2, but it was like 4 at a time, 6 at a time. It was just raining hair. So I went to the mirror and I checked. I was like, this is weird, what's happening to the hair? And I felt something weird. I felt spikiness and I was like, why is this spiky? And then I looked, I had a bald spot here. I had a bald spot here on the top of my head, like here where it's fluffy now, and then here at the back as well, and then on the sides. And I looked at the bald spots and I thought, no, it might just be the light, since now the hair is light and the sun is shining in a weird way in the apartment. So I went in the bathroom and I thought the light here is pretty normal lighting, so it was just probably a light game. So I looked, it was still bald, so I thought, this can't be happening. And it was really short. It was 0.5 centimeter of hair left there. The whole evening my hair kept on shedding, so it was just shedding, and it became really, really thin, and I was really, really panicked and I was really freaking out because it was just too much. I mean, even though I have so many and they're so thick, it's not unlimited, you know. You just have a certain amount of hair on your head, and when they fall like it's raining, it's bad. And just because I really wanted to show you guys, the day afterwards the hair still kept on shedding, and I decided to go over the house and gather all the shedding that I could find. There was also lots of shedding in the bed, in the shower, everywhere basically. I just had to move my head like this or stay still like this, and then hair would just be falling. And look at this. This is the shed-in from the first day, and this is not even all of it. This is just part of it because I couldn't gather everything, of course, and there's some dirt in it because I shed it everywhere and I just picked it everywhere I saw. And yeah, it is a lot of hair and it is really long. If you see it, it is lots of hair. And the shedding continued and continued for the second day and the third day. The second day I called Salon Nova again and I asked to speak to the hairdresser that did my hair, and I said, hello, I just wanted to let you know that I've lost almost half of my hair and that it keeps on falling and that I'm scared because I think that I'm going to lose all of my hair by the end of the week. And then, you know, that is what pisses me off the most, and I'm still very, very, very pissed off about it. She was just like, hi, Iry. Oh, that's too bad, I guess, but I kind of told you that it would get damaged. And I said, yeah, but you never told me that I would lose my hair. You never ever told me I would lose my hair because I wouldn't have proceeded. Seriously. She said, yeah, I mean, it could happen, I guess, and that's so bad. Like, you know, like so uninterested. And mind you, that person is someone that has very long hair and also extension, and you can see that she's very careful about her hair, making it thick, making it long. So she would understand if she were in my position. I also used to have, you know, very thick hair, and now it was falling, and it was never my plan to have 0.5 centimeters left as bald patches. But she was really just like, yeah, I guess there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, it's kind of sad. Yeah. Like, you know, the tone, the words she used, she really just did not care. I was like, you could at least pretend that you cared, you know, fake it like, oh my god, that's really bad. I feel so sorry for you. You know, like even bad acting, I wouldn't have minded. But just the utter uninterest and really just showing that I don't care, dude. I really don't care. I just don't care. I mean, she didn't say that, but that tone, it shows it. I cried a lot. I cried on the day of, you know, the first day of shedding, basically the day I did the hair. I cried the second day. I cried the third day. I was really crying. I was really sad because as soon as I saw the bald patches, I knew what I had to do. I'm the type of person who makes a lot of decisions with my head. When it comes to certain things, I know how to prioritize the things that have to be done and the things, you know, the right things to do and the smartest things to do than my feelings and emotions. So basically those 3 days I was crying and depressed and I wasn't going out, I wasn't even going to the gym. I always knew that I had to shave my head, but I was still very emotional. But I told John, boo-boo, let's shave my head. And John kept on asking me all the time, are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? Are you sure you're not going to regret? And I said, you know what? I don't want to do it. I'm going to be ugly. I'm going to feel so insecure. It's not gonna suit my face because I have a very round face. Now, Cookies, you've seen me for enough time to see that I have a round face. I have a face as round as it gets. It's just round. So I knew that I would just look like a billiard ball or a bowling ball or just a ball, and I was so sad about it. But I told John I don't want to do it, but that is the only smart thing to do now because it just looks ridiculous, and anyway it's very damaged, it keeps on shedding. There's nothing else to do. And we did it. So we shaved my head and the rest is history. And that's the end of this video. I hope it answered the why question that you Cookies asked me, because you were kind of pressing on the why both on Instagram and on here, but anyway, I was already planning on making a why video. And that's it basically. I hope you cookies enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't want to miss the upcoming videos. Bye bye!